First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to all the people who follow my channel and who subscribe, because I never thought that I would have more than like 10 subscribers. Kabir Singh came out on Netflix, and unfortunately I wasn't able to watch it in the theaters, and I was actually torn between watching it or not watching it because it was making so much money and it was super duper popular and the music was really good. But there was also so much negative talk around it, and I just didn't want to go to the movies and get pissed off at the movies, you know? It just would not be a good experience. I don't know how this movie made money. I literally do not. Like, okay, I'm gonna dive into all the issues that the movie has later, but just straight off the bat, I didn't think this movie was entertaining or nice or romantic, just nothing. I honestly think the movie had nothing to offer. I was bored in the first half of the movie and the second half of the movie. I was so bored. It was so dull. Like for a movie that's supposed to be about like love and passion, it had none. I felt absolutely nothing, and it's not because I'm a raging feminist. I really think it was not a good movie. So I think two of the biggest issues that I'm sure a lot of people have discussed is that the movie is very regressive and very violent, very chauvinistic, very anti-feminist. It's not even anti-feminist, it's just like no feminism. It's just like women are... do they even exist? Are they even real? It's like to that point. Like I can't even really make a feminist argument because it's like the women are nothing in the movie, you know? And it's like so frustrating for me. First of all, this movie is a remake of a South Indian film directed by Sandeep Reddy Vanga. That guy is a hot mess because like how are you even making this movie? It's like 2019. Overtly, like right off the bat, like the first 5 minutes of the movie starts off with him. This is like post breakup, post everything. He's kind of on his like downward spiral. He like wants to like get with this girl, and she's, you know, like interested in him, but then her fiance comes home. Then she's like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he's just so freaking rude, and he pulls out a knife on her, which is insane. Literally insane. This situation by someone who cares about women would have turned this scene into like, okay, she gave consent and then she took her consent away, which is okay because women are allowed to do that. And then he would just walk away like, okay, fine, you're not interested anymore, screw you. But no, he takes out a friggin' knife and tells her to just follow through with it anyway. But then for some reason, I guess because the doorbell rings, he just like gives up and he just leaves. That was so annoying. And that just like pissed me off right off the bat. But I was like, whatever. It's like, it's one scene, just like keep going in the movie because I didn't want to watch it. Like I wanted to know what it's all about. When you finally see the flashback of him in school, you see he's a hothead, doesn't listen to anyone, does whatever he wants, blah, blah, blah. He's about to like quit college, just screw everything. Then he sees this girl who's super duper demure, super duper shy, just looks at her and decides she's mine and no one else can have her, no one else can date her, no one else can talk to her. I understand, okay, love at first sight. I get it. So that's like a very typical Bollywood thing. But like the concept of threatening all the people around her, you, everyone, and just being like, that's mine, she's off limits. And at this point, he's never spoken to her, like just nothing, no contact, no I like you, no trying to impress her, nothing. Literally just says, I like this girl, everyone else back off. What pissed me off so much is that like literally she says nothing, does nothing. Like I just didn't know for such a long time in the movie if she was interested in him or not. Does she like him? Does she hate him? Like nothing. Why does she have no emotion, no feeling, nothing? She's literally brain dead. There's nothing happening. It's so scary. It's so weird. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. At least like those stupid older Bollywood movies, like girls are like, oh my god, I don't like you, whatever, and they like slap him, you know? Like at least there's something. In this movie, there's nothing. She says nothing. She doesn't even have a dialogue for a straight hour of the movie. I don't think she says anything. She says nothing, and it's so creepy. It's so weird. College is over. They get caught. Her dad is super upset. He wants to marry her. But Kabir is like so impatient, like doesn't let her talk, doesn't let her explain, like, okay, this is my dad, let me like freaking give him a chance to convince him to like accept you. Nothing. He literally just like tells her, who are you, what is your identity, slaps her, is like, you have 6 hours to decide if you want to like be with me, run away with me, whatever the hell he does. And then he doesn't even really give her the 6 hours because he gets drugged up and passes out for 2 days. Like, you're so dumb. Everything is about his choices, what he wants, when he wants it, who he wants, how he wants it. Everything is about him. Nothing is about her. I don't understand how this is a relationship when just nothing matters about her. Like, she could literally just be anyone, anything. She could be a robot. She could be a scarecrow. It like doesn't matter because it's like she has no right. She has no rights. Like, when they graduate, she like wants to stay for an extra 2 days to spend more time with him. He literally does not allow it. He does not allow it. What? Why not? Why can't she stay an extra 2 days to be with you? He's like, I'm bad at goodbyes. Okay, but she wants to spend more time with you. Isn't that a good thing? It's not just him with his girlfriend, but also with his friends and his family. It's like nobody matters. Just him. Just him. It's like he lives in his own head. He's like so selfish, so self-absorbed. Everything revolves around him. He's literally the worst person. He's so toxic, and he literally poisons everyone and everything around him. And it's not because he's obsessively in love. It's because he's a shitty person. So there's a lot of like overtly chauvinistic things, but I think one subtle kind of one was towards the end of the movie, which spoiler alert. So he sees her in Mumbai, sees that she's pregnant, doesn't approach her then, kind of goes back to kind of center himself, and then decides like he doesn't care that she's pregnant. He'll accept her anyway. He still loves her. She will still love him. Like, he'll make it work. He has to give this a chance. Cool. So then he confronts her at the park, and he's like, you know, it doesn't matter. I still love you. You know, I will accept this baby, blah, blah, blah. Which is a nice thing, I guess, to do, you know, because he loves her so much. Now, here's my issue with that scene. So, we see Kabir's post-breakup downfall of him getting kicked out of his house, finding a job as a surgeon. He's like a top surgeon at this hospital, like fresh out of graduation, because he's so talented. He's drinking, he's smoking, he's sleeping around, doing all this reckless stuff. Has an apartment, the apartment's littered, super gross, drunk all the time, but he's really, really good at his job, super focused. Everyone in the hospital is like terrified of him, but also in awe of him, which is so annoying. And I guess we're like supposed to feel bad for him, like, oh, he's so in love with her, you know, he's ruining himself. It was so boring to see that shit because it just kept looping. Like, nothing else happened in the second half of the movie except him just like drinking and smoking again and again. Like, there was no plot, like nothing was happening. All the way at the end of the movie, when he confronts her and asks her to run away, that's when we find out what happened to her post-breakup. So what happens with Preeti is that she leaves her husband, because she's forced to get married, leaves her husband after 3 days, obviously doesn't go back to her parents, finds a random hostel to live, works in like a clinic. Then she finds out she's pregnant, but she's still mad at Kabir for not like being with her in her time of need, you know? Has no one to take care of her. Some random auntie is like helping her with all her like pregnancy stuff. This is the cake. This is the important part. She says, I didn't let him touch me. And I'm like, okay, like that's fine. Like, you know, you really loved Kabir, you know, so obviously that makes sense. But I find it very interesting how her like faithfulness to Kabir is like dependent on the fact that like she left her marriage and she didn't actually like marry like her husband. But Kabir's faithfulness is not based on or predicated to that. He drinks, he smokes, he's sleeping around, and none of that affects his love for Preeti and his faithfulness to her. Isn't that like so interesting? Like, that's really so interesting. And I love how as an audience we're supposed to sympathize with Kabir. Like, he became drunk and his career got shot because of his love for Preeti, blah, blah, blah. But you guys, like, the actual sacrifice made in love was made by Preeti. She was ostracized from society, probably like kicked out by her parents, was dealing with pregnancy alone, lived in a hostel, worked in a clinic which probably didn't even give her good money. Like, can you imagine? Like, he was a top surgeon, so he was probably making good money. He was just wasting it on alcohol. It's so interesting how it's like this movie is focused on Kabir's sacrifice, when in reality, this movie should have been about Preeti and her sacrifice. Because she's the one who was so dedicated to him, even though he treated her like shit. He was just like on a self-sabotage, you know, spree. And it was like such a small point, and I didn't even think about it that much. I thought about it much later, but it's actually like such a big deal. Her entire journey was just like a 2-minute scene. Meanwhile, his stupid journey was like a 3-hour movie. How insane is that? I hated all the female characters in the movie just because they just have no spine. Like, what is going on? Preeti is just like brain dead in the first half of the movie, goes wherever he wants, does whatever he wants, has no opinion, is not allowed to have an opinion, is not allowed to fight back. And I think one thing that really pissed me off is that Kabir has like this group of really good friends. 2 of them are women. Never in the movie are they like, what are you doing? Or just like, that's rude, that's mean, you know? Never. They just go along with whatever he tells them. That is so messed up. If I had a friend who was a jerk, I would be like, what the F is wrong with you? Why are you behaving like this? I hate this movie because of this reason. Because like none of the women do anything. They just don't do anything. So after the movie came out, the director made some like controversial statement about how if like there's no crazy passion in love and there's no like slapping or something, it's not real love, which is like such a weird statement to make. If you want to talk about like raw passion, blah blah blah, you know, unfiltered love, I feel like you can just watch Ram Leela. Freaking Ranveer and Deepika have like crackling chemistry, and they are kind of like aggressive with each other, right? But it's like they're in love, like you see it. The problem with Kabir Singh is that I don't see any chemistry. Like there's no love. Like in love, there's equality, there's like back and forth. You know, there's like a merging of 2 people and like mindsets, just like everything. But in Kabir Singh, it's like a one-sided love. Like, you just have no idea what's going on. If I want to see a movie about one-sided love, I'll just watch Ae Dil Hai Mushkil, okay? Or if you want to talk about obsessive love or devotional love, you could just watch Ranjana. That's a great movie. I like that movie. Or if you want to watch psycho love, watch that with Shah Rukh Khan. You know, we have other movies we can watch about like basically the same topic. If you want to watch a movie about some alcoholic's downfall, watch Ashiki 2. Watch that. You don't have to watch this movie. This movie's shit. Don't waste your time. Shahid was like trying to bring sincerity to a role just because he, I think, is like very babyface. He's very like innocent type. The movie itself is so shit. And I think the movie and the story required the actor to be an a-hole, but Shahid is not. So I think all this like deep acting and stuff was like literally wasted on this movie because this movie is shit and this story is shit. Like the scenes, the dialogues, everything is just does not do justice to him. Honestly, it just does not. Like any other annoying ass punk could have been in this movie, you know? I think the movie did well because of Shahid Kapoor. I think it's because people are his fan. He actually did a really good job acting in it, although I barely noticed that just because the movie pissed me off so much. Whatever I did notice, I think this was like a legitimate attempt by Shahid to do like a really good job in terms of acting. So with that, plus the fact that the movie had really, really good music, I feel like both those things are wasted on a movie and like a script that is absolute shit. If this movie would have been about like passionate, unconditional love with like the same music and Shahid and whatever, even the same actress, but if like the movie itself would have been better, like if you would have seen more love, like more chemistry, more pining, and also more of the freaking girls pining. Like, why are we just seeing his downfall and not hers? Like, if we would have seen more of that, then it would have been more of like a full-fledged love story that people could relate to more. What about Preeti makes you even fall in love with her or sympathize with her? I could care less about her. She was doing nothing in the movie. Absolutely nothing. Why is he interested in her? Why is she interested in him? Where is the love? Where is it coming from? What's the root of it? There is nothing. There's no deep-rooted love. They just have an obsession with being with each other. So if you actually made it to the end of my rant, congratulations. You are amazing. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching once again, and please subscribe to my channel, Movies with Meher, and please follow me on my social media channels on Instagram and Twitter. It's at Meher Masala, or on Facebook, Movies with Meher. Okay guys, I'll catch you later.